Hi, this is Lifescripts and I'm Congress of Community. என்னுடைய அடுத்த கெஸ்ட் மதுரை பையன் musician, self-made, very profound thinker. Very fun to be with and ambitious and tech freak apparently.
Don't forget I directed you at one point.
He directed me at one point. He's a good friend of mine. Arun Raj actually யாரு எங்க இருந்து வந்தாரு என்ன பண்றாரு அப்படின்னு personally I actually don't know much about you, so it's like me also getting to know you more now.
Right, it's a personal chat.
Yeah.
You are gonna get into some personal areas, which is something I've not really talked about a lot in interviews and all that. So interesting, self-exploratory நானும் பார்க்குறேன்.
So my first question: if you can bend the laws of nature and உனக்கு ஏதோ ஒரு சூப்பர் எபிலிட்டியை கொண்டு வந்துக்கலாம் அப்படின்னா கொண்டு வந்து so that you get benefited by it. மற்றவங்களுக்காக அப்படிலாம் உலகத்துக்காக ஒரு பெனிஃபிட் அதனால கிடைக்கும்னு நீங்க ஒரு சூப்பர் பவர் எடுத்துக்கலாம் அப்படின்னா
Okay, then I would like to fly, maybe that will be nice.
Okay.
Passport visa la vena, can just fly anywhere you want.
Is there a place you would like to go to by flying ana to a different timeline and a different space?
Oh, time travel inga enakku tharanga. Okay. I mean to the future obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere in the future only. பாஸ்ட்லாம் பார்த்தாச்சு இருக்குங்க. ஸோ ஃபியூச்சரில் என்ன இருக்குன்னு கொஞ்சம் முன்னாடி பார்த்தா நல்லா இருக்கும்ல.
ரீசன் இஸ் கியூரியாசிட்டி.
Yeah, curiosity, exactly. Curiosity and mostly that, yeah, correct.
If you look at your life from your birth until now, or like while you were flying, top angle view, if you can see your timeline of your life, there are certain times இந்த ஒரு சில இன்சிடென்ட்ஸ் நடந்திருக்கும், ஒரு சில சேஞ்சஸ் இன் லைஃப் நடந்திருக்கும் which would have made you the person that you are now.
Right.
Like we collect certain things, அது ஒன்னொன்னா building blocks it becomes us. அந்த மாதிரி நான் இப்போ இதை சொன்னதும் if you can think of these events that significantly impacted you and made you you, அந்த
மூணு events I mean, if I have to think about it, I think one event was when my school principal இருந்தாங்க மதுரையில். I was in a school earlier, அதை விட்டுட்டு வேறு ஸ்கூல் போயிட்டேன், but she kept in touch. I was her favorite student in the entire school. ஸோ அவங்க வந்து நான் ஒரு 9th 10th ஏதோ படிக்கும் போது எனக்கு ஒரு புக் கிஃப்ட் பண்ணாங்க. It was a Harry Potter book, 5th part. அதுதான் இருக்கிறதுலே பெரிய புக். So அதுக்கு முன்னாடி வரைக்கும் I didn't have such a big reading habit or anything. She randomly gifted me this book one day and I started diving into it, and then I finished the entire Harry Potter series. I got into so many more books that really strengthened my language. And ஏன்னா மதுரையில் தெரியும் எப்படின்னு எல்லாமே தமிழ் தான், கொஞ்சம் இங்கிலீஷ் பேசினாலே என்ன பீட்ரா அப்படின்வாங்க, இல்லைனா வந்து you won't have that much exposure to good spoken English or that kind of a literature. So I think that opened a gateway for me into acquiring knowledge in a different way, understanding things, because English is everywhere, it's universal. Everybody, you get knowledge from all over the world if you know English well, and communicating well also. I think it started there for me, that confidence in language and communicating to people. அது ஒரு முக்கியமான ஒரு ஈவெண்ட்டாக இருந்துச்சு when thinking about it now. And one more was, I think, like you said, quitting engineering. Like சென்னை வந்தது கூட அவ்வளோ பெரிய ஷிஃப்ட் அல்ல, அதுவே ஒரு ஷிஃப்ட் தான். So that period itself I would call it a significant period, because I came to Chennai and I was always at home, very pampered kid மாதிரி தான். But இங்கே வந்து ஹாஸ்டலில் வந்து actually hostel was a very significant time for me. Like all over the தமிழ்நாடுலேருந்து பீப்புள் வந்திருந்தாங்க இன்டீரியர்ஸ்லேருந்து. ஏன்னா நான் வந்து ஐ டென்ட் கெட் a lot of big cut off Got a good score in my 12th. Like I got some 80% or something. But cut off ன்றது வந்து it was very bad. So
அதே மேத்ஸ் பிசிக்ஸ்ல வச்சிருப்பாங்க.
அதுதான் எனக்கு தெரியாது. See the funny part is cut offனா எனக்கு என்னன்னே தெரியாது. Because இந்த ஸ்கூல் படிக்கும்போது எல்லாம் இந்த டியூஷனுக்கு போவாங்கல்ல, நான் டியூஷனே போனதில்லை. ஸோ ஐ வாஸ் ஆல்வேஸ் லைக் நானே லாஸ்ட் மினிட்ல படிச்சுட்டு இந்த கிளாஸில் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிட்டு எக்ஸாம் எழுதி ஒரு 70-80% ஈஸியாக வாங்கிடுவேன். ஐ நவ் ஹேட் டு கோ டியூஷன் அண்ட் ஆல். பட் டியூஷன் போகிற பசங்களாம் பேசிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, ஏ கட் ஆஃப் என்னடா கட் ஆஃப்ன்றீங்க. எனக்கு கடைசி வரைக்கும் ஐ டென்ட் ஈவன் ஆஸ்க் until everything was over. I didn't even bother to ask what that cut off is. Nobody told me. முடிச்ச உடனே தான் இன்ஜினியரிங் போய் ஆகணும், வீட்டில் அது முடிச்சுட்டு என்ன வேணா பண்ணுன்னு சொன்னாங்க. சரி ஓகே, இதை வச்சாதான் நம்ம எஸ்கேப் ஆகிடுவோம் சென்னைக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு கவுன்சிலிங் போகும்போது தான் தெரியுது கட் ஆஃப்னா என்னன்னு. இந்த ஃபிசிக்ஸு, கெமிஸ்ட்ரி, மேக்ஸ் இதெல்லாம் வந்து கால்குலேட் பண்ணி ஒரு மார்க் தான் கட் ஆஃப்னு அப்போ தான் எனக்கே தெரியும். ஆனால் அது மட்டும் இவ்வளோ லோவாக இருக்கே அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஏதோ ரொம்ப கடைசியில் கிடைச்ச ஒரு காலேஜில் தான் போய் ஜாயின் பண்ணேன். சரி ஓகே நம்ம சென்னை வந்தால் போதும்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஜாயின் பண்ணேன். அங்கே வர்ற பசங்களும் அது மாதிரி தான் இருப்பாங்க, டீப் இன்டீரியர்ஸ்லாம் தமிழ்நாடுலாம் வந்து. ஸோ டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் பீப்புள் ஐ மெட் இன் மை 1 year ஆஃப் ஹாஸ்டல் ஸ்டே. It was very different experience. காலேஜில் ஏதாவது கற்றுக்கிட்டோம் இல்லையோ, பட் ஆஃப்டர் காலேஜ் by meeting new people from Madurai to Chennai and getting exposed to all these new people was very formative experience for me. And yeah, that, and then I quit college one day. So that college period was very defining, even though it was just for 2 years.
மூணுத்துலயுமே இருக்கிற காமன் factor is your curiosity to expand more. The need to,
right,
that need to expand is evidently there. So நம்ம எதை பத்தி பேசினாலும் கடைசியில் அங்கதான் அது வருங்கிறது ஃபீல் ஆகுது. So while you were after you quit college or during the struggle that you had to go through on the college quitting period, what did you understand about yourself?
About myself? Yeah, those experiences were very see, I always have a layer of self-reflection in any incident. It's not just about major incidents. Any small incident I go through, there is one level of self-reflection I have. Because I believe every experience that you have, you learn something about yourself. About the other person, about the situations, but about yourself. So that way I could learn a lot from each person I met. My tolerance towards people was very limited. Okay. I respected my personal space a lot, because until then nobody had really violated my personal space at home or anything. So that's ரொம்ப important. And you only connect with very little people in your life. It's not like you meet a lot of people and you instantly connect with everybody. You don't have to either. People can just exist in your life and don't have to connect. And yeah, that's what I learned about myself. Yeah.
Like you said, we do learn நம்மள பத்தியும் ஏதோ ஒன்று கற்றுப்போம், மற்றவங்கள பற்றியும் ஏதோ ஒன்று கற்றுப்போம். மற்றவங்கள பற்றி
The people are very different, like they come with different mindsets that's ingrained in them from childhood, and you need to learn how to deal with different kinds of people. So on the with life I could take different templates, like okay. Oh, idu or template of people, understanding people like that. Okay, this is one type, this is one type. So
so respond to them like this.
Yeah, these people are driven by this. What are they driven? What are their core motivations in life? இந்த மாதிரி விஷயம் கொஞ்சம் டீப்பாக தான் நான் பீப்புள் அனலைஸ் பண்ணுவேன். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஓகே, வேர் இஸ் திஸ் ட்ராமா கமிங் ஃப்ரம்? லைக் சம்மன்ஸ் பீங் அ புல்லி, ஐ ஒன்ட் சீ இஸ் அ புல்லி, ஐ வில் லைக் வேர் இஸ் திஸ் கமிங் ஃப்ரம்? ஓகே, அப்போ நான் சும்மா அவன்கிட்ட பேசுவேன், ஹவ் இஸ் யுவர் டாட், சும்மா கேஷுவலாக அதை கேட்பேன். ஐ வில் நாட் லிங்க் இட் டு தட். ஸோ தென் அப்யூசிவ் பேரண்ட்ஸ், ஓகே, இஸ் இன்செக்யூரிட்டிஸ், ஓகே, why is this person trying to be dominating by putting on other people, core insecurities. Okay, so I learned to read people better.
What did you learn about life in general?
So I was seeing like this, then I was seeing like this. So it expanded my vision a lot to the world and how to deal with things, and you get put through a lot of situations, right, in college. So like after college, at least if you're not working under some employer, you tend to have certain control over your life. At least the kind of situations you put yourself in. College la abdi illa. you are under one big system and they put you through a lot of situations and you just have to show up every day. So that puts you through a lot of different circumstances and all that, right? So that contributes to personal evolution a lot.
The positivity that you took from that is your expansion.
Everything was a positive experience, meeting new people, learning about myself, learning new ways to socialize and all that. Yeah.
இதனால புதுசா ஏதாவது ஒரு ரூல் கிரியேட் பண்ணிட்டேன் உனக்குன்னு I should because of this I should be this or I shouldn't be this or other people should be this.
A lot actually. Those are some things that I do on a daily basis. So there's no one big rule that I put for myself. It's just like, you know, mostly
most commonly you tell yourself
defining your boundaries, sort of a thing. So like I said, no, like personal space was very difficult in a hostel environment filled with boys and all that. So then you know how to deal with such people, how to draw your boundaries, how to assert those boundaries.
What was your learning to being certain?
Yeah, so I learned that once they've crossed your boundaries and you try to push them back, that's a very difficult process.
Okay.
You win when they know your boundaries clearly and they don't cross it in the first place. So it's about protecting your boundaries than fighting a battle after they've crossed your boundaries. So like you said, like when you are yelling or doing something, that means they've already crossed your boundaries and they're triggering you. So when you have healthy boundaries and strong boundaries and you're able to project them very successfully to people, people tend to understand. People usually violate boundaries when it's weak or when it's undefined by people. So அது இருந்தாலே நேச்சுரலாகவே சப்கான்ஷியஸாகவே அவங்களே புரிஞ்சுக்குவாங்க. These are the boundaries of this person, I better not cross it அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு nobody will really dare go beyond that mostly.
இப்போ அருணை பற்றி நல்லா தெரிஞ்ச பீப்புள், ரொம்ப க்ளோஸாக கூடவே இருந்த பீப்புள் எல்லாம் நீ இந்த காலேஜ்க்கு போய் குவிட் பண்ணுறதுனால இந்த எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்னால அருண் வந்து இப்படி ஆகிட்டான் அப்படின்னு என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க?
They will just be happy and proud of the transformation. Like basically before going to college, there was this version of me which was very unexposed to so much in life, and the kind of skill set I needed to grow to be able to survive that environment and you know, like to be able to coexist in such a place with so many people, all that required a lot of rapid personal growth. And you know, to learn new skill sets, to communicate, like I said, with boundaries, and to be able to be in a place where it's very confined. See, I'm a creative person, right? See, my profession is creative, so I don't like to be confined. So அது ரொம்ப அப்படிதான் இருக்கும். So to be able to tolerate that, all that was very it required a lot of transformation. So அந்த transformation பார்த்தாங்கன்னா they'll be very happy and proud that I was able to do that in such a short period.
ஜென்ரலாக உன்னை பற்றி தெரியாதவங்க ஒரு ஒன் வீக் தான் அவங்க கூட பார்த்துருக்காங்க, அவங்க கூட வேலை செய்கிறாங்க அப்படின்னா அவங்க வந்து வாட் இஸ் த இமேஜ் தட் தே usually tell you that they have about you, or can you put yourself in their place?
I mean, is this someone I'm collaborating with or someone who works under me, or how is that?
Oh, ரெண்டு வேற perceptions இருக்கா?
Yeah, obviously, you know, you need to be, when you're a boss, you're a boss. When you're a friend, you're a friend. So there are these layered relationships I have with people. So whereby I can be somebody's employer during a particular time, then I am that. After that time, if it's a personal connection, then I'm a different person there. So you need to have those layers, right? So that you define your role there. Otherwise, it's all gonna come down crashing, because then there's no proper definition of what you're doing there.
Okay.
If I am working with a friend, then I am a workmate. If I'm chilling out with my friend, then I'm a friend. So you don't confuse these, right? So there's a different version of me, you know, when you're Depends on how you're associated with me.
The practice of ஒரு confined spaceலயும் எப்படி இருக்கிறது அப்படின்னு கத்துக்கிறதே ஒரு எக்ஸ்பான்ஷன் தான். நம்ம பவுண்டரி இல்லாம இருக்கிறது இஸ் லைக் just existing as nothing, I mean as everything.
Correct.
ஆனா ஒரு பவுண்டரி வச்சு அதுக்குள்ள கத்துக்கிறது it's a different kind of an expansion. So now in life, are you feeling confined anywhere?
Yeah, I'm feeling confined in a few ways, whereby there is, there's only so much of time and mind space and all that you have, right? And there's deadlines and there's personal goals and there's other goals that are, driving your life. And so அந்த ஒரு விஷயத்துல வந்து it's a bit confined because like there's time also confines you in a certain way. The amount of mind space you have is also very limited. So இதெல்லாமே ஒரு விஷயமா தான் இருக்கு. But again, that's the whole battle, like how you manage all these limited resources and channel them into what you want to do, yet live a very happy, fulfilling life. Because it's very important to realize, I realized quite recently about how life is not about chasing these goals. Because I'm sure a lot of people will realize after they accomplish those goals and they look back and they're like, what? Why am I feeling empty? But I'm fortunate enough to see, it's not about hearing those words, it's about them hitting you and sinking in, right? People will say, people, accomplished people also might say on the internet, in person, like, you're running towards something, that's not life and all that, but it will not hit you, right? But then for me, this realization came in quite recently, and I'm very happy for that it's life is now. It's not somewhere in the future where you've accomplished your goal and then that's your life. No, so don't run towards it. It's like, this is where you're living and the journey is the whole beauty. It's not about the destination. So that way I'm like working towards it. So whatever confines me is something that I'm constantly working to get out of. Yeah.
Okay. So in the confinements external இருக்குது time and majorly time.
Yeah. It's not time. Okay, again I want to correct that, like, because time is universal. Okay, it's not something you can change. It's just universal. It's about how you organize your time. It's about how you manage your time. So it's about what you prioritize. Sometimes I'm always working that I don't prioritize other things. So it's a very delicate balance, but which you need to establish firmly though. Like இதுதான் என்னோட separation of time. The 24 hours is there. How you allocate it is up to you, right? So that is something that I'm working on, and that's confining me at the moment, but it's a process.
So when you spoke about boundaries, அந்த பவுண்டரியை வந்து கிராஸ் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறமா தான் அதை வந்து சரி பண்றதுக்கு ரொம்ப ப்ரெஷர் தேவை. அதுக்கு முன்னாடியே பவுண்டரி போட்டுட்டா கிளியரா போயிடும். So is there something that is there in some way you take the lesson from there and put it inside your time boundaries?
Yeah, that's a very obvious application there also. It's like you define your time properly and then you stick to it, then it's effortless. But then it's the same thing, it's exactly the same thing. But then when it's not defined, other things are intrusive into those boundaries and it all overlaps and collapses. At least with people, it's a very not very recurring thing. It's like you put yourself in the vicinity of people and it happens. Time, it's not like that. It will happen anyway. Like when the boundaries are not clearly established, then it's going to happen anyway, because time goes on anyway. So every event will overlap and it will always have issues with each other. So that's a bigger problem than with people.
What is your lesson that you learned from your life that you would like to give other people?
So basically, if you are having weak boundaries, it's because of a few things, and mostly it's because you have this whole people pleasing thing where you don't want to offend people, where you don't want to lose people. So if you're someone struggling with establishing your boundaries, you are better off doing the most extreme thing and cutting off people. Just cut off people who you think will buy. That's the ultimate thing you're scared of, because of which you don't want to, offend them. You don't want to do the whole extreme thing, offend them to the maximum, or cut them off completely. Only for people who are really violating your boundaries, not everybody. And that will empower you in a way. It's like worst day நடந்துருச்சு இதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன அப்படின்னோடனே just maintain that you don't need it. It's about understanding that you don't need anybody. Like no matter what, you'll be okay. You lose anybody, you'll be fine. That's okay. Everybody is here. It's like a train journey, right? Like everybody gets on in one station, gets off in another station. So when you try to hold on to these people or to these things in your life too much, that you give up on your personal boundaries, then that becomes an issue. So it's better off to just push them off in the next station, and so that you're not scared of that, and then you can take them back in. Once your boundaries are strong, it even solidifies the relationship more. When two people have very healthy boundaries, only the relationship between them, whatever relationship that is healthy. Otherwise it's always one person exploiting the other person suffering. This dynamic is not really good with anybody. So it's better to just have that complete cut off space to help with your boundaries, then take them into your life.
அந்த பயம் போனதுக்கு அப்புறம் the way we set the boundary will change. அது கைண்டவே பண்ணலாமே, அவங்கதான் போலியே அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு
no, I had hydrophobia. Okay, fear of water, drowning and all that. So நான் என்ன பண்ணேன், surfing போயிட்டேன். And I don't know how to swim, but I'll be surfing in the ocean. So that really transforms you, right? So every week when I go for that surfing session and I come back, I feel like that really boosts your confidence like crazy. It's like that's life or death.
Yeah.
Right there. And then you finish that and you come face a situation here. It's like, okay.
How does your ideal life look like, sound like, feel like?
You're saying like if I could have whatever I want,
yeah.
what will that look like?
Yeah,
that's pretty defined for me. It's like I'll have like a very huge 10,000 square feet lower weed with like a huge property by the beach, by the ocean or something. And yeah, like since I'm into technology and all that, it'll be completely automated. ஆமா, வைஃபை மட்டும் கட்டாமல் பார்த்துக்கணும், இல்லை அப்படி இருட்டில் இருக்க வேண்டியதான். So that I like the whole sustainable living concept, whereby the whole place is off grid. It's like it's not run by the EB or something. Full solar power, ஃபுல்லாக பேனல்ஸ்லாம் போட்டு ஒரு ஹெலிபேட்லாம் வச்சு ஒரு ஹெலிகாப்டர்லாம் வச்சுட்டு ஐடியல் லைஃப். நோ, ஸோ how does it matter? Yeah, probably I'll have a private jet to travel. It's easier like that to go to good places. And then I'll be having a setup in LA also, because I'll be working out of Hollywood. So just traveling from here and there. But then our roots are here, so I still want to be working in India. It's not like I want to cut off, and I want Chennai to be my home base anyway. Like, and keep traveling. This is like recordings and collaborations, probably doing a music video with Justin Bieber or somebody. அந்த மாதிரி போயிட்டு இருக்கோம்.
Let's say we are there now. And now I'm asking you, and you can answer all just fantasy creative answers. Success in vechikalam, illa biggest impact in vechikalam, illa satisfaction in vechikalam. But music mooma, if there is something that you've done like that gave you that feeling, what is it?
So your question is like 10 years from now, if I look back in this period where I am busy
and see I did that with my music and it feels so satisfying.
Oh, that. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I think like a significant thing would be a stadium filled concert somewhere in the US or the Europe, because inga stadium obviously fill ஆயிடும். அங்கே fill ஆச்சுன்னா அது எவ்வளவு பெரிய விஷயம். Okay.
Madison Square Garden.
Something like that. Yeah, like a big stadium is filled and there's a concert in the middle of that. And when I performed for that concert, right, that was a very defining thing, because when you're performing live for such a huge audience, you connect with all of them.
And they sing along.
And then they vibe with you, and imagine those, you know, like thousands of people like just in sync and listening to you live right there and singing. That was a very amazing experience.
Like you already kind of mentioned Justin Bieber, but what are the other iconic people that you work with?
See, I think I've worked with pretty much everybody in Hollywood. Okay.
You're most some interaction that you remember the most with some of those people, or one of those iconic.
I think must be Tom Cruise. When I worked for Mission Impossible's latest edition, he was such a chill guy. You know, I grew up watching his movies and all that, and we went on the Tonight Show together, and that was a fun thing, nice. Fun interaction. Yeah.
Nice. What are you most grateful for?
I'm very grateful for the people I met, you know, through all these experiences, and all the millions of fans who have connected through my music. You know, they're a big community, but they're united by the music I make. So that is something I'm really grateful for. This entire family of people that have traveled with me. Even some people I haven't met yet personally, but they connect through my music. We've spoken, had communications through my music. That was possible, and I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you for playing along.
Okay.
How was that experience for you?
This is something I do a lot.
Okay.
So it's very natural for me. I always future pace and, you know, like look back on my life, and it's very natural for me because I know it's those milestones are up ahead. எனக்கு எப்பன்னு தான் தெரியாது, பட் இருக்குன்னு தெரியும். ஸோ அதனால் I'm very comfortable talking about all that.
ஏதாவது ஒரு book that impacted you a lot that you would like to share with the viewers?
Okay, but this will go into the spiritual realm.
Please.
Okay. There's this book called The Levels of Energy. Recently தான் படிச்சேன். Not a lot of people can blow my mind. Okay, so like nobody that I met in real life has blown my mind ever. So it's usually people I listen to online or some book I've read like this, you know, like I'm into audiobooks, so I don't have time for books. So AirPods போட்டு நான் on the go-ல கேட்டுட்டு இருப்பேன். So like that, this book really blew my mind. It's like the author is so smart. It's like, I'm like, how can someone be so smart? Like I don't really feel that about a lot of people. So maybe 4-5 people my entire life I felt like, wow, they're smart. Okay, so அது மாதிரி இந்த புக் வந்து பயங்கரமாக இருந்துச்சு. லைக் த வே இஸ் ரிட்டன் அபவுட் ஹவு டு see the whole world through energy levels. There's like 0 to 1000, there's a scale.
0 to 1000?
1000, yeah, there's a scale of things. Okay. Like, okay, how are people in the low hundreds? How are people in the 200s to 400 range? இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும். It's like not every single number is defined, it's like a range. So how are people here? How do they behave? How is your life? And how to see your life and read it and calibrate it into what இப்போ என்ன லெவலில் இருக்கு, how is it increasing? So when you increase the levels of your energy, how is the reality that you see? In every level, the person's energy defines their reality. So when you upgrade your energy in which you're vibrating, if you're into such spiritual stuff, you know, like you're always vibrating in a certain frequency, your mind and everything. So when you evolve to a different level, the reality you see is different. It's like you tune the radio station, you hear something else. The radio is the same. Adu madri, when you tune yourself to a different vibrational frequency, your reality changes. You don't really meet negative people, you don't have negative situations. Everything is in harmony. You know, all these things happen in a certain higher frequency range. இது எல்லாமே அந்த புக்கில் இருக்கு. Very well defined. I knew about this already, but the book defines it in a very brilliant way. I'm like, I was so mind blown. I was like, oh, இதெல்லாம் calibrate பண்ணி ஒருத்தன் வந்து எழுதியிருக்கான்னா அவன் இவ்வளோ ஸ்மார்ட்டாக இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. So I really would recommend that book.
How does he suggest இப்போ because இப்போ நீ சொல்லும்போது you just have to tune அப்படின்னு சொல்றது வந்து இப்போ இந்த வீடியோ பார்க்குறவங்களுக்கு வந்து that might not see, there are a lot of people who tell us what to do, but how to do சொல்றது கம்மிதான். So when you say tuning the frequency, what do you mean by in an action level?
That is not a one-step process like the radio. Radio is pretty straightforward, but here you need to do a lot of things. Like meditation is one important thing. Meditation பண்ணலாம். அது இல்லாம there is, in the book particularly, since we're discussing that, he talks about places having certain frequencies already inbuilt into them. If you know how to calibrate the places, you go to that place and you can always recharge yourself.
Oh wow.
Like cafes have a certain frequency, beaches have a certain frequency, and நம்ம லோவா இருந்தோம்னா அந்த ஹையர் வைப்ரேஷனுக்கு போனா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக ரீசார்ஜ் ஆகிடும். That's an easy hack, right? Instead of meditating is a big process for people, just going to places itself defines your energy. So if you are in the low hundreds, he says it's very low, and 50s is like suicidal people are in that frequency. So அவங்க எல்லாமே வந்து if you put them in a place where the frequency is 500 or something, and it shifts them automatically. So அந்த மாதிரி, yeah, that's a very nice concept.
உங்க லைஃப்லயே நீ வந்து ஜாஸ்தி எஃபர்ட் போட்டு மாத்தின ஒரு விஷயம் என்னெல்லாம் எஃபர்ட்ஸ்?
Basically, I think about interacting with people, like that's just a very ரொம்ப versatile subject like that, because you know every time you meet new people, new situations, and I used to be a very socially awkward person, so I think I put a lot of effort into that, because again my industry requires that you don't be socially awkward. It's not just about being in the studio and making music. It's about connecting with people.
Promoting yourself.
Exactly. So you're the brand. So you need to be able to express. So that was one thing I really spent a lot of effort to refine. I'm generally motivated to become a better version. So for me it's a high, you know, like getting to the next level, you know, like the personal growth, right? That's my high. It's like, okay, new level unlocked, new level unlocked. So it keeps going on like that.
Any movies, books, so the book madri, is there a movie that profoundly impacted you?
Yeah, I like all the James Bond movies. It's like you learn so much from those movies. About how to, yeah, it's just about how to behave in extreme situations.
Okay.
Okay. Or be cool in extreme situations. Like, oh, a bomb explode, like, okay, nice. You know, like that's something to aspire to be. So that really, when I'm down, I always watch any random James Bond.
So how was your experience sharing all this?
Nice. So therapist பேச மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு. It was liberating to visit old memories and talk about all that.
Yeah. Thank you for expressing and actually something new. I also got to know something new from talking to you.
That's amazing.
For sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.